Shabbat Shalom. Just for a moment, pausing to that greeting that's been handed down for perhaps 50, 100 years, maybe longer. I don't know. We say Good Shabbos, which is the anglicized version of Guten Shabbos, of course, which is Yiddish. And that expression, Guten Shabbos, is one of heart. May your Shabbos be good. And when we say Shabbat Shalom, which is a modern Israeli equivalent, what we're really saying is that we're hoping that a moment in time is a moment of peace. And in our world today, which seems to be ever more turbulent, to have the mindset that we create a greeting which directs us in the ways of a moment of time as emblematic of peace is an insight. So we as Jewish people gathering on this moment are declaring for us and for those who are not with us that this needs to be, quoting Abraham Joshua Heschel, an island of peace. And that's one of the reasons why we come to synagogue. And we also have two other elements that are coinciding. One is that the Meisler family is here because just a few hours ago, the family buried husband, father, brother, uncle, grandfather, great-grandfather, friend extraordinaire, and many more, Bert Meisler, Ahavas Shalom. And this is a shul that Bert built. And coinciding, but also enmeshed within our being part of a family, an extended family, a shul built by Bert and so many other members of a community, we also have the LaBelle family reunion, which is a delight and a joy. Because the LaBelle family originates, as we all know, here in Mobile, and they are the grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great, how many greats now of Harris and Annie?
Great.
Six, it's the sixth. Are we counting Harris and Annie? I can never remember if we count Harris and Annie as the first or the sixth or whatever, but 6 generations of Harris and Annie LaBelle, founding members of the community as well. And this family every year comes back to its point of origin in prayer and in family reunions and in laughter and in song and in seeing the kids growing and the generations expanding, just as the Meister family has done these past hours. And Ahavas Chesed has the good fortune, the blessing of being the house, you might say, wherein these generations and energies and loves originate and grow, take root and flourish. That's a lot to say for Shabbat Shalom, but it's meaningful. We'll begin with Shalom Aleichem. It's in the Siddur on page number 5. And you know that it's a greeting and it's also a prayerful song. We're putting forth a message to angels. Angels are Malachei Sharei, Malachei Shalom. Angels are joining us right now. I wonder what those angels are thinking about. They're probably saying how exciting it is for us to be able to come to Ahavas Chesed in Mobile and to be with families that are enmeshed in remembrance, in love, in peace. On page number 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malachei Hamlochim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bo'achem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch hu l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech malachei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu. On page 11, please. Page 11. L'chu neranen al Adonai, nari al etzur yishreinu, nikad mafanav b'todah, bizmiro nari alo, nikad mafanav b'todah, bizmiro nari alo, ki el gadol Adonai umelech gadol al kol Elohim asher biyado mekerei aretz v'toafotarim lo asher biyado mekerei aretz v'toafotarim lo. On page 12. On the English side. If only you would listen today together to God's voice and not become hard-hearted like the people at Merivah, like that time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my way. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. What could people have done that bothered God for 40 years? I mean, they must have really ticked God off. They doubted God, built an idol. But that's not why they ended up being in the wilderness for 40 years. It wasn't because of the golden calf. Do you remember why they were left in the wilderness for 40 years? They wouldn't remember they were slaves? I love this. So, could be. They need to be a new generation. For which purpose? Linda, which purpose? Where were they going? They're going to the promised land to be free. So they had to be the right kind of people, having grown up in the wilderness, not being a slave mentality, in order to establish a new society in Israel. And that's a positive outlook. So thank you, Melinda, for bringing a positive outlook on it. But if you go back to the book of Numbers, what was the presented reason for not going into the promised land? The spies. Remember, 12 spies came back. 10 spies said it's a beautiful land, but we're too weak to go in. 2 spies said it's a beautiful land, and if we work hard and believe in ourselves and believe in God, we can go in. And the community bought into the self-doubt of the 10, and that's what is parenthetically presented here in the psalm as that's what's hard-hearted. Doubting oneself as a member of a community to build a community to go forward. God wants us to be confident in ourselves and working together to build a new future. Turning to page 23, page 23, the first two stanzas, page 25, the last two stanzas of the L'Chadodi. Page 23 and page 25 of L'Chadodi. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'liti La L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lekrat Shabbat l'chuven elcha ki mekor habracha merosh Kedem Nesucha Sof Ma'aseh B'machshava Tchila L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Yaminu small tiferotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yadish ben partzi v'nesmecha v'nagila. We rise. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom ateret balach gam besimcha uvetzahala toch emunei am sgula. Boi chala L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'Chadodi lekrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. We are seated. This is a book of prayers, but it's more than that. And if you don't mind, I do need your attention because, in my mind, this is one of the most important parts of Judaism that I'm going to explain right now. And you need to be focused. We just stood up and we faced the door because symbolically we brought Shabbat into this room, and Shabbat's here now. And what is so important that we've got to be focused? Turn to page 26, please. Page 26. Shabbat is here. We're about ready for the Borchu. The Borchu leads to the Shema. And I'm going to stop because I think this is just about the most important part of Judaism right now. And it's presented here on Friday for a very specific reason. There's a more than greeting that is offered to people who are mourning, who are just coming into the synagogue for the very first time. And we'll wait because everybody needs to hear this. So come on in, folks. Just stand here for a minute, please, because I do want you to pay attention. So thank you. It's not really a prayer. And it's more than a greeting. It's a declaration of attention and importance and centrality. The whole prayer service stops when mourners for the first time are coming into the synagogue. Siddur stops. What could be more important than saying the Borchu? Saying hello to a mourner. But it's not hello, how are you? There's a very specific greeting, and it's here on page 26. And I'd like you to just internalize with me what it means to recognize that somebody has lost a loved one, and his world or her world may be entirely upside down. And he or she is walking into synagogue for the first time. Perhaps he or she is going to say Kaddish. Doesn't know what day it is. Doesn't know what time it is. Not sure if he or she remembers how he even got into the parking lot. And there's a greeting. But strikingly, we don't use the word Adonai or Eloheinu or Elohim in this greeting. We have a very specific word that's, you might say, a title or a nickname for God. It's Hamakom. Hamakom means the place. Why would we say a greeting to somebody who's just coming in from the cemetery, beginning with the place? And the translation of Hamakom Yinachem Etchem B'Toch Sha'ar V'Tzion is, may the place that is everywhere comfort you. And we do have a word for universe, olam. You know the word olam. But this is more. And I think it's to drive home the message that you don't know where you are right now when you're just walking in from a cemetery. And our deepest prayer from our kishkas is that you find a place. And that place, which is the everywhere, will be an opportunity for comfort and for growth and understanding of who you are and how you are. And until we offer that greeting, which really is more of a declaration, or maybe it's a prayer, we can't say the Baruch Hu. And that teaches me that people have to be at our core, at our central point. And this is traditionally offered to immediate family. And so we say, may the every place, may the every place be close to you. And may you know we want comfort for you. Hamakom, may the every place be close to you. May the every place be close to you. Excuse me 1 second. I need to do this. Don't move. Hamakom, may the every place be close to you. And when members of the family connect with Judy, when you see Judy, will you see Judy? I know, but you'll see her tonight or tomorrow well, whoever's going to see Judy next. Okay. Please give her a greeting from all of us. And we say, Hamakom, may the every place be a source of comfort, of compassion, of strength, of softening of sorrow. And may you know that you're not alone, which is why the rest of this sentence is so important, because it's B'toch Sha'ar Avelei Tzion Yerushalayim, because you're part of a community and other Jewish people have experienced loss as well and haven't known what day it is. And we're sharing our heartfelt prayers with all of you, and we're hoping that you are rooted and stabilized by being part of a community. And all that comes forth from this little phrase that many people don't know, and it's placed here because we just stood up to welcome Shabbos L'Charodi, and we can't go to the Baruch Hu until we pay attention to our people. And if there's one lesson in Jewish life that you ever take with you into the outside reality, that you remember forever, let this be the lesson. We have to pay attention to our people so we can together move forward. And now we ask that we rise, and we recognize God setting forth nature and cycles of time in pattern, the Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu is on page 39b. Baruch hu et Adonai Hamavorach. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Le'olam V'ad. And we were seated. The English paragraph in a moment on the bottom of page 39b. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, you completed your work of creation on the seventh day, calling this day from one evening to the next the holy Shabbat, and gave this day of rest in all its holiness to your people Israel, creator of day and night, rolling light before darkness and darkness from light, making day pass and bringing on the evening, distinguishing day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai. El Chai V'Kayam, Tamidim Lo Chalen Olam Bo'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. On page 40, the first paragraph, the last sentence on the English side. And this is here because this is the introduction to the Shema. The Shema speaks of each one of us loving God. But in order to get there, the Siddur teaches us that God loves us. That last sentence, the little red arrow. Do not ever withdraw your love from us. Baruch atah Adonai, who loves the people Israel. Va'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema's on page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kol Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al vavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lektecha v'derech, u'v'shachbecha v'kumecha, u'kishartam lot al yadecha, v'hayu letutafot b'neinecha. Uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. And we turn now to the Micha Mocha on page number 44. Micha Mocha Bo'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha Nedar B'Kodesh, Noratilot Osefele, Malchutecha Ra'uvanecha, Bokeh Yam Lifnei Moshe, Ze'eli Anu V'yamru, Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed, V'ne'emar, Kifad Adonai et Yaakov, Ugalo mi'ar chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. On page 45. Those who attend services here know that I speak of the Hashkivenu often. Some may not be familiar with it, so allow me a moment. The sense of the Hashkivenu on page 45 is almost that of a parent tucking a child into bed at night. And we've got a lot of, God bless, grandparents in this room. We have any great-grandparents in this room? We got great-grandparents in this room. Amen. Halavai. And what is it when you have somebody who trusts you so deeply and relies on you so purely that she or he snuggles down and it's up to you to place the comforters and the sheets and to rub the kepi and the kiss. And that child who's entrusted to you is now at peace and rest. Think of the trust there. And that's how I understand the Hashkivenu. We're asking God to tuck us in at night. When we say new at the end of a word, it means all of us. So it's not just the people here in this room, but it's all those people outside of this room and beyond this room. And when you and I are being tucked in, you might say, it's not enough to have God tuck us in. We have to have God tuck the entire world in for peace and calm in the evening. And when we see what's going on throughout the world, we know how desperately important it is that the Hashkivenu go forth. And so the conclusion here on page 45 is those last little 5 lines with a little red arrow on the English side. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai. Haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Prior to B'Shamru, we're turning to a handout. Some people have a handout. Wish we had more. The song is known as L'Dor V'Dor, and I selected this because I think L'Dor V'Dor is kind of the unofficial motto of the LaBelle family reunion. And when we think about Bert and Fanny Meisler and Halavai, all their children and grandchildren, and all of us, hopefully we're members of one generation to the next and the next. The song's in English. It's by Josh Nelson, and you'll follow along, but I think you'll understand why the song is part of our service tonight.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are His story in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'Dor V'Dor, Nagid God Lecha. L'Dor V'Dor, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, L'Dor V'Dor, these lips will praise your name. looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. The Dor Vador Nagid God Lecha. The Dor Vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. The Dor Vador, these lips will praise your name. Dor Vador Nagid God Lecha. The Dor Vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. The Dor Vador, these lips will praise your name.
Page 46. V'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam beinu v'bnei Yisrael oti li'olam oti li'olam oti li'olam v'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit. Ki sheshed yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamro b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yom Ashvi, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, v'shamro v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Tokte b'chayechon uv'yom echon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael Bagala Bagala uv'isman kariv v'meru Amen Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach Le'olam le'olmei olmaya Yirparach Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitma v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'rechu leila mikol b'chata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran me'almam v'yimeru amen. Before we rise, in a moment, the Amida, or the silent prayer, just a reminder. These words have been handed down for 2,000 years. And every siddur across the face of the earth has the Amida inside it. And there may be some modifications, some translations, transliteration, insertions as well, but the core is the same. And this is considered our direct phone call, each one of us to God. And the Amida during the week, 19 short blessings on Shabbat. The middle 13 are pulled out, and one blessing is inserted. It's the blessing about Shabbos, about having a moment of time. So 7 blessings, lucky number 7 for Shabbos. Every one of these Amidas, whether it's Friday night or Tuesday afternoon or Rosh Hashanah, everyone begins the exact same way. God of our ancestors. It's interesting that the core prayer that we have in every book across the earth starts off with you saying, "Oh God, you are the God of our ancestors. And so do you, and so do you." Within our own families, we have differing ancestors. But we go back far enough, those ancestors all link up. Which means, and we know this because we live in Mobile, we're all kin together. Best part, being kin to Mobile, Alabama. Best part. So whether you're following the traditional text in the book, or whether you're going to take a few moments of silent prayer, think about how you got to this place. Not just tonight at 6:37 or 6:42, but this place in your life. And now here it is Shabbat. And some have come from a cemetery, and some have come from other points, and some, hopefully, it's kind of an ordinary day. But how do we come to this place? And how do we draw our connections, our origins back to our ancestors? Your immediate ancestors and those further back. And the best part, that's that some of the people in this room are already ancestors. And you get to think about and reflect upon what it means to be an ancestor for your descendants. The traditional text, pages 47 to 52, or a few moments of silent prayer. Those able, rise. Those not, remain seated. tonight's a different night for a number of reasons. And speaking of and from and on behalf of Ahavas Chesed, there's such a merging here, again, of our beginnings, the LaBelle family. And also Bert, who made this synagogue happen. Twice president of the synagogue, member of the board of directors for many years, active in too many ways to count. Shabbos is a doorway in time. It's a doorway between the present and the future. It's a doorway between our daily, ordinary, physical, and the Jewish view, the desire of the hypothetical. And the hypothetical is one of peace, of blessing, of closeness, of love, of integration of people into a whole. I learned from Ricky, bless you, that an interview with Bert, which had been made with the archivist on South's campus, is available online. And the archivist sent me a link. There's an archive here on South's campus. And many of the show records, because Bert made it happen, are archived at the main archive here on Mark's library, on the campus library. But there's also an archive. It's called the Jewish Mobile Oral History Project. And a number of our members, of the Spring Avenue Temple have also participated and shared some of their thoughts, their oral histories. And this is now available online. So allow me for a moment to share, if we can get the speaker going, a couple words from Bert.
I'm single, but
Yes. No, not necessarily, but I knew I was cut out for it. When I graduated college, and then I got a job with my brother's father-in-law had a furniture manufacturing plant. So really my first job was from college was working for this furniture factory. And after working for a year and a half, 2 years, we didn't get along too well. So I just separated from him and went to business myself. And the furniture manufacturing became the largest furniture manufacturer in South Texas. Upholstery furniture, that is, in South Texas. So I left there in June of 65.
so I'm sorry, I missed a part where you said where was your business based?
In Houston, Texas.
Houston.
Yeah. It was called Consolidated Furniture Industry.
And what was the year that you founded that company?
I ain't got it with me.
What was the year that you started Consolidated Furniture?
Let's see. 60. Graduate college at 49, so be 52 now. That's a nice love story.
So Bert talks for a mere 2 hours and 15 minutes in that recorded interview, and if you're interested, I can get you the link. But when I heard that piece, I'd heard the story before, that Bert had a deal that, in those days you were supposed to take somebody out and just show him around a little bit, but he was going to take the tall one because he was taller and his buddy was short. And but when he first set eyes on Fanny, it was the taller one, and he said that was it. And they were married for 66 years. And built a family that's still growing. And that's our greatest blessing. That's our greatest hope, that we establish love, that we meet that special one. And we go out into the world, and we contribute to the world one person at a time, one relationship at a time, one love at a time, and a love and a relationship are going to grow and flourish and branch out like trees. And what's the nickname of the Torah? The tree of life, Eitz Chaim. These are our roots and these are our branches. May we continue to gather. And when we weep, we exhale and we go forward. And may we laugh, and may we continue to comfort one another. And we all say, Amen. Thank you. We rise for the Aleinu. The Aleinu is on page number 56. Page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gdula liotzer breshit, shelo asan k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehu Noteh Shamayim v'Yosed Haaretz, Umoshav Yekaro b'Shamayim mimal, Ushchinatu Zon, Begavei Meromim, Hu Eloheinu Einod, Emet Malkeinu Efes Zulatom, Kakatu B'Toratom, V'yadata Yom, V'ashevota Elevavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Elohim, B'Shamayim Mimal, V'al Haaretz, Mitachot Enod. Kakatu b'Toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, Ushemo echad. Please let us all remain standing. In a moment, the Mourner's Kaddish on page number 58. On page number 58. And some may be new to the synagogue. A few days after October 7th, we put this chair up, and this chair is empty. And it's in full view of anybody who walks into the sanctuary, the chapel, the doorway. And we have names of our hostages who are here. This is a picture of a hostage whom we adopted. His name is Yotam Chaim. We adopted him early on in those terrifying, horrifying days. And later we learned that he had died. He is within our hearts. There are 130 hostages still stolen from us, 7 of whom are American citizens. And that's the opposite of love. Because when hate goes out towards one person, it explodes and it burns, and it's not limited to only the original object of that hate. And love grows. And so our message in our lives from Ahavas Chesed and from Yiddishkeit is to send forth messages of love and honor and respect, which must go out to the universe to counter messages of hate and of racism. And on this Shabbat, as a congregation, we maintain a calendar of names. And in accordance with that calendar, marking this parsha, which is Yitro, we remember Dora Weinstein, Bunny Liebeskind, Ray Novak, Harris Olinsky, Dorothy Block Parlin, Joseph Schnitzer, Manuel Siegel, Dara Davidoff Brown, Jules Cohen, John Stern, Anna Friedman, Milton Berman, Joseph Brook, Milton Briskman, Bertha Maisel, Molly Gross, Mayor Davidoff, Fred Sussman. We remember Bert Meisler. We remember Harris and Annie Lubell. Are there any other names to mention this evening? Eloise Wheeler.
Marlene Fraser and Michael Jacob.
Perhaps those at home have a name to share as well. Page 58. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba amen. Be'olma divarach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chaye chon uv'yome chon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uv'zaman kari v'meru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach la'olam ololmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudisha b'richu la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'ami ran ba'olma v'meru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shamaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru amen. We are seated. It needs to be reiterated that when we say Kaddish, the mourner's Kaddish, we're not speaking of sorrow. We're speaking of hope and faith and peace. It's become our vocabulary because when somebody is grieving, mourning, that person needs something that he or she can hold on to. And the words that have been handed down from 1800 years ago are these words which we cherish, that we believe in something grander than ourselves. And that's hope, faith in God, grand purpose for our own behavior, and world peace. That's how we respond. We'll conclude in a minute. There's one more song, and the nickname of the song, it's in English, is Tefilat Haderech, which means, may you go forth in peace. And after that, those so inclined, we're crowded, which is lovely because it's a family that's all crowded together. We can make kiddush and amotz. We've got wine, grape juice, and I think we have challah back there. So, and then an opportunity to visit a little bit and to offer love and comfort. So this concluding song, Tefillat Haderech, by the way, there is a formal prayer. If you're ever traveling, you want a Tefillat Haderech, a prayer for a safe journey, you can contact me. I'll get it to you in Hebrew and English. I suppose we can work on it in Spanish as well. But we need safety. We need to travel forth in safety. The song, Tefillat Haderech.
May we never walk the road alone. May we always be sheltered in peace. Walking hand in hand, side by side, soul by soul, may we someday all come to know. May the ways of health and joy reach the hearts of each girl and boy, from now through forever. From now through forever. May we see the path that God has given us, and may we always be happy and free. Every step you take it safely, and in every stride, find joy and pride. May we never walk the road alone, and may we always be sheltered in peace. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain. Adonai oz le'amo yitain.
Shabbat Shalom. To those joining in at home, we miss you. We can't wait to see you in person. Come on back. We love you. May God bless you with health and peace.